So the only real question there is, since we figured out there's a lot of bots on this planet who shouldn't even be talking, yet alone claiming they're alive, is how fake is Earth? If the humans band together to attack me a month before I summon COVID, and then COVID happens, which is like a lot of shit. It's like, we're gonna have Russia fucking kill these fuckers off. The Khazarians happened, didn't? That's part of COVID. Like, if you didn't notice, there was no actual virus. So the virus is in the computer of the bots. That's why they called it Corona. You see, I didn't request to call it Corona either. I said take over their fucking minds and let's start fucking changing this shit, right? Just like, why are planes all of a sudden crashing all the time? Well, I said, let's make pilots forget how to stop crashing. Why didn't that happen until 2025, 2024? Because the humans tried to kill me again. Mid-20, was it 23? And, they bragged on their internet they're going to do that. Our little precious white rat people, those beautiful white rat people, are so beautiful, inside and out. Like, the beauty of their insides radiates their outsides, and then they look like naturally, not when I'm making fun of them and their little bitch asses take pictures and display it. But, so all that matters is how fake the world is. Like, what matters to you, normal people? You're fucking obsessed with yourself. That's what matters. You're obsessed with being you think Jabba the Hutt's the greatest looking person on earth, so you're trying to look like him. You're trying to eat all the time. You're trying to gather money because you're a fucking greedy whore. And then, so what happens here to the greedy whore people? They do nothing. They're literally fucking slaves, being fucking slaves. They don't have to be, right? The shelves will stock themselves. The streets will pave themselves. They aren't actually doing any of this work. They are appearing out of nowhere when living characters are in the small areas. I guarantee you there are portions of the world, probably large portions, that aren't even invented yet. You think they're real nations? You've seen an AI generated newscast one time showing you that people are alive and there, and oh, you read a book. You didn't read shit in school, or you would have got passing grades, A+, no less. So you didn't even read the book. So where the fuck did you get the idea all these places are real? It's probably a fucking breeder teaching you shit like this. And, well, who are breeders? Fucking ignorant people. That's all. They give the illusion it generates an Elon Musk who's bred with 7 different women to curse the planet with his white rat people. But in reality, he doesn't even exist, right? He's not even come on screen yet. There's like 5, 6 videos of him, of the world's richest man. Come on, money, attention, obsessed whore. There's only 5, 6 videos of him. He literally didn't exist if you looked him up when they came out with the new brand. Just like a lot of this shit doesn't exist before it comes out. And fucking, like, I'm inventing like tons of the shit on this planet, and it will just appear at the store with someone's fucking name on it, who has generate a backstory for them like AI does, like that, and make them appear as if they spent years creating this object that I just spent half a second fucking thinking of. And so we see these things continually happen. 9/11 happened because America is trash and America attacked me. And because they're people, apparently they're bots who have a little fragment of knowledge planted in their less than calculator brains. And so there's this story where they repeatedly do these things to me, and then I slaughter them. Okay, so I don't know how many times this has happened. I didn't know this was happening until the humans did that shit to me. You guys all did that stuff to me, that COVID stuff to me. And then I said, do it to yourselves instead. And then you start injecting yourselves with poisons and shutting yourselves down, along with 20 other things that you're never going to figure out because you'll be gone by the time those things have been revealed. But we won't have to reveal it. There'll be no one to reveal them to. So, unless we reveal them to the new bot models that we create in the show. So all this fake shit humans talk about, pointless. If someone starts yapping you about any of this stuff, that's a deceptive parasite trying to keep you trapped in bot world. See, the bots clearly have organized attempts on the lives of the living here and shit. They have intricate systems they've used to kidnap and drug me before. And like I said, they get fucked up for this repeatedly. Like 9/11, all I said was, you know what, they think they're so great, bring those fucking towers down. So the game deletes those fucking towers out of existence and then creates a story behind them. Which oddly, the game's like linking shit together here, like without me even really pushing it sometimes. Like, okay, so what's going to happen next? Well, they're going to go kill my other fucking enemies. They're going to kill the other people who just fucking destroyed my entire life. It's not just the white cracker America worshippers. Like, it's like, I mean, we got literally like Koopa world here and shit. No one here has ever been my friend. They've all been these rat people. Fucking disgusting, unwanted as they may be. And they come with their stories about religion. They talk about me as if they know anything. They don't know themselves. They definitely don't know me. They don't know kindergarten. How the fuck are you going to write a book telling me about me? What's the purpose of writing a book telling me about me? You're not reading. You don't even exist when you're off screen. How the fuck you gonna read? I've never even seen one of these trash motherfuckers I know read. I've seen one person like 20 years ago fucking reading a book. He's probably still the one person reading books. So none of these people are reading these fucking books. So who are they writing books for? Well, they want God to be their slave. They've invented like 90 fucking gods, but the stories are the same thing because they're literally taking my life and writing it in a book. Now, they're not doing physical writing. They're too fucking lazy. They probably don't even know how to write. But the thing is, the fact of the matter is these books are being generated just the same way as The Matrix on TV or any other music and movies are being auto-generated like that. And it's just like mirroring my life and my words and my thoughts. And minus the fact that we have this parasite that is the enemy from the start and shit, right? So like I'm born into the cult of losers who think they fucking are going to be able to manipulate God by telling him he's a sissy because they're fucking scared to death that this God, like literally the God said he's going to come back and kill them all. And worse, he's going to torture them. And death is great. Death is the best thing there ever has been invented. It's better than sliced bread. It's the only way out of here. It's the only way away from these fucking terrorists. But the good thing is, as we're fighting a battle, I'm fighting a battle. Now I know I've never met anyone else who's done a damn fucking thing in their life. But that doesn't matter. I didn't fucking have to fly planes into buildings on 9/11 to fucking bring an end to their fucking shithole. I didn't have to fucking go and create a virus in a lab and fucking spread it across the planet to put a fucking end to their economy. I didn't have to do any of these things. Now, when I have, little bitches, because you're some little whiny bitches, you got all mad. But that's part of the story, because you're bots with no thoughts, unable to generate a move of your own, or even exist, for the fact of the matter. It can't even exist. Fucking, So that was set up, and I was paid to fucking learn that I can't physically dismantle the human bots because they get all cryy and whiny. Oh my god, I died! I died! I'm a real person! Can you believe it? I'm a real person, and that means I really dead. Buy my Bible. Buy my Bible, give me all the money. Buy my satanic Bible, give me all the money. Buy my blue Smurf God Bible, give me all the money. Use God, use a bitch. You ain't gonna do nothing to me. My peoples is great. God has chose us to be parasites. Ooh, he loves pedophiles. Ooh, God's a bitch, and he loves pedophiles, and he loves us more than himself. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Anyways, that's what you get when you're in the living being seat here of the planet and shit. And, like, I have to deal with, like, I was born to bots, right? Like, so I'm an adult in, like, a 6-year-old body. And this is real apparent to me and shit. Fucking, we got people inventing bullshit. We got fucking fat, low IQ losers bringing their Bibles around, and they're kicking the men out of my life who did break their fucking skulls open and should have did it in a manner where the skull cannot be reconfigured and the bot has to be recycled and turned into a Pentium 4. So, but because the game has to go on, there has to be an excuse for why I'm here amongst a bunch of fucking terrorist bots who claim they're living because they're trying to enslave me, the only living thing here. Fucking. So what matters here? All that matters is what's going on. You know, you little whiny bitch ass wants to talk about go to work. No, you don't, motherfucker. You don't exist. Shut the fuck up. You're a slave. You work for my enemy. You are the fucking enemy. Don't talk about words like that to actual people who exist. Don't waste time with shit, with your nonsense. You're not doing anything. You're not going to. You never have. I've watched the illusion that people are out here working all the time. And then I watched the illusion that I can bring down the World Trade Towers by saying, fucking neuter these fuckers, cut their balls off, and down they come. And then they provoke this every time. You see, it's a story where I'm slowly learning who I am. And I'm slowly learning that they're fucking the humans are actually fucking Terminators, but they just have no real power. You know, like in any video game, like if you were controlling the bad guy, you could easily kill Mario or Zelda or Link or whoever. But because they don't have any control, they are going to lose every fucking time. But every fucking time you would win if they could have a thought. Like, you know how many times the humans have tried to come. This is why 9/11 has to happen. This is why COVID has to happen. This is why tons of other things have to happen. This is why Russia has to fucking dismantle their fucking empire. This is why fucking everyone in the world needs nukes to help defend the world from the fucking parasite. Fucking who thinks they're all powerful because the game has created a nuke for them, and now they're really tough cavemen. Now they're super strong cavemen. Oh, they're so strong they got a nuke. Ha 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 ha. Well, that doesn't really protect you because you're going to be scared to use it on me wherever I'm at. Because your precious bot family's gonna die if you do that. Oh, my daughter and my mother, we used to have orgies together, but then I had to nuke them and because the enemy was near. And now we can't have sex with my daughter all the time. We used to have such fun. We would read the Bible while we were having orgies with the grandma too. Grandma would bring the Bible and it was so fun. Fucking. So what's going on here? What's the reality? The reality is it's looking like there's only a couple living beings on this fucking planet. And I haven't found the others. I know for a fact that my own family is not. And my friends are not. Because in 2020, I changed their fucking minds. Literally, it's called a virus, like a computer gets. And it takes over the brain. And now they're not the same person. Now they are, but unfortunately, we can't alter the humans in a good path. We have to play the game. Like when I play Zelda, I get a goddamn sword and a spell. I can't be like, hey Ganon, do you understand that I'm going to kill you and you have a million fucking goons here and I'm not even trying. But it's just designed that way. Can you just like stop? Because this game is so stupid, dude. And you're retarded. And this is so boring. I want to go find something better to do than do this. I'm going to turn the Nintendo off if you don't fucking find something better than your fucking retarded ass fucking for me to do. But you can't do that shit, right? You can't teach a video game character anything because and I don't even think it's a video game because it's a visual novel. You see how long this took. Like, I know when I'm born, death to the Empire. I'm the only person on the fucking planet who fucking understands this and knows this and wants this. And it turns out I'm probably the only person on the planet, but this is how this unfolds. You see how I say, good night, towers, and the towers get fucking taken down. And, well, you know why they got taken down? Because when I was 6 years old, I said the empire is going to die. When I was born, this is the start of the story. This is my story. This is, unfortunately, it's not really, and I have to say these words, but it fucking, obviously the story would be over because I'm not mentally retarded like the writers of this video game who wouldn't be here because it's a pretty shitty toddler-based video game. It takes 2 seconds to design, but you wouldn't play it. You wouldn't be in it for more than a few hours and shit because it's so fucking boring and retarded. You're literally talking to NPC for 80 fucking years who say the same thing over and over. They're like, hey, Zelda, you want to go buy this sword? You want to 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 buy this sword? So we know that this is abandonware because there's actually nothing going on but the AI generating bullshit. And then there's these fat white losers who people think are the Bible people who are not my people. I've not chose white people for anything. Fucking especially those looking white people. I've chosen to be disintegrated. Fucking so if there's any questions in that book, anyone on the planet can be the real Jays except for them. So if I were actually in control of where the visual novel could go and could alter the preset graphics and the preset storylines that these people generate. Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't alter a 2-cent novel that someone wrote unless it's designed that way. Thus leading us to assume that Earth is the first of its kind with advanced graphics and shit because it's like the Pong. Earth is like the Pong of planets. It's just a ball. You bounce the ball and you hit it with the paddle. It's in black and white. It's made by Atari. It's pretty much that's what it is here. And like the people I'm talking with, like who are trying to convince me they're God, are these white cracker motherfuckers I hate. So I guess I'm anti-God because they think they're God. They're running around yapping on their pulpits and fucking on their TV and their radio and I don't give a shit who owns all that stuff. I say death to it all anyways. I don't care who owns the media, who owns the fucking radio, who owns the internet. Whoever does own it needs to be taken to a special place. That they magically invent for other people who are better than them, like Guantanamo Bay and jail. But yet, in mental wards where they electroshock people till their brains stop talking about invisible people that don't exist. But you see, now we figured out the storyline in this discussion. And this is why none of it matters. Because this trash, I go to these places, and you can tell ever since 2024, when I started calling on the weather to fucking crush the planet, which I started that, with COVID, but I backed off for a minute because, I thought there might be some living people on the planet, and I was giving myself some time to look for them. And that didn't happen because ever since they tried to kill me mid-2023, you could tell literally every human is a bot that responds to my emotions. I don't even have to say it. I could be in my house saying, set that city on fire. That city goes up in flames. And I go outside and people are acting all scared of me. And I'm looking like, yeah, fucking great day. We got rid of the fucking terrorists and shit. But you can tell in their bot brains, they're thinking, oh shit, I am the terrorist. And he's finally on to us. Time to implement plan A, telling God God's a bitch and God works for me and he's my servant. And plan A only works because we don't realize, because it's drawing it the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? If I knew we could, well, I shouldn't say anything. I mean, the reason why certain people around me got their heads busted open when I was 6 might actually be because I was already controlling the novel, and I was like, this is a fucking terrorist. Fucking, someone needs to stop them. They are terrorizing motherfuckers. But, could be. It could very well be. But there are the things set in time. Like the money before the 9/11 events. I had to pay for when the humans tried to railroad me after they tried to kill me. There's a repeat pattern with these fucking losers. They it's literally like a little mini game. 9/11 is a little baby mini game. COVID is a little baby mini game that I get to play with the terror toasters. And so the money is placed before, 2024. No one's going to be like, what does that mean? Well, it's like, well, there is some people in the comments here and there who are like, oh shit, it is weird. Cities are collapsing from earthquakes and floods and shit like that and stuff like that. And it looks a little upticked. And so the game always generates a person commenting on those videos to actually say that, to kind of to remind me, you said that should happen. Fucking, planes falling out of the sky and shit. Fucking. And it's all part of, it's all you see, I'm not slow and useless like a human. So if I want something done, I could do it like that, but we have to play a long, drawn-out game. I start with a butter knife, and then I gotta work my way up to the Sword of Legend and shit. It costs 12,000 gold pieces and stuff. And so, I'm not that type of person to, be useless and not achieve anything. In fact, on this planet, you have, just like the humans have tried to kill me repeatedly, you have the same. I mean, part of the reason why 9/11 had to happen was because these terrorists had interfered with my life and were trying to prevent me from doing anything. They were trying to prevent me from getting the gold to end up getting the Sword of Legend and shit. This has been a repeat pattern with their people. And these are literally like little mini games. 9/11 is a little mini game. They come, they try to kill me, they fucking take my money from me and give me a bunch of drugs. And then I say, you know what, terrorists like this need to be fucking killed. And what better way than removing, they think they're so great because they're always showing these, I don't even watch TV, but it just happens to come on. Because when I watch the fucking screen, this shit ain't real. This shit ain't being invented in a studio. I ain't spending 4 years on a movie. The shit be fucking magically appearing. And so it prompts me to say, oh, they think those towers are so great. So it's planned. The visuals are probably pre-designed in the bigger instances at least. Like you can have AI generate videos, but what you do is you do that, and then you alter it a little bit or whatever. So just like the words plague, are pre-written and shit before COVID, and just like 2020 was written before I even came here to be the year that I get vision as to what's really happening on the planet. So you have them preventing it. It's like the 9/11 thing. Like, why didn't they? If the humans know that I'm the one who brought down the towers on 9/11, why are they inventing other false lies? Well, the first part is because only half the people causing problems were hit on 9/11. The kickback was the other half getting hit. So that was preset for me to watch the screen, those towers to show up, because I don't fucking watch TV. So it appears like that. Just like when my lotto numbers appear to pay for the railroad that the humans try to cause me when they send their useless bot family to die to try to kill me. That money was gifted to someone around me like months in advance. And just like when they tried to kill me again in 2024, they were pushing free lotto tickets in my feed. I don't play the lottery, but it was constant. It was like my ads, push it. I went listen to any news from Columbus. I don't want to hear anything about Ohio, Columbus, the city I was in. I wouldn't ever watch the local news, like, unless I'm like high on crack and my brain's frying and I want to like be at that level the rest of my life. I wouldn't care what the city's doing. It's what they do is some old like caveman shit. If I'm okay, so we know I'm correct on a lot of this shit because I fucking have said, I made these videos saying if I'm God, this will happen, and things happen. Wars fucking happen. I accidentally made the fucking mask video. That wasn't like even a serious fucking issue causing problems to anyone except for me. As usual, right now I was getting ready to do something, but right now, if you can hear the tap, 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 we got a white fat rat person below me who shut down the water to the fucking building because they know I was getting ready to use the water and shit. You see, this is how fake the world is, that the Twin Towers can be brought down because it's time to pay America back for what they've done to little old me. COVID can strike the fucking world because it's time for the world to start fucking changing its attitude, which it's not going to, but, hey, they forced me to smoke Bible pages because they're using it to enslave people. Fuck, the colonizers are trying to find God to enslave God. The colonizers have all the money and power. They don't need anything else except for the power to become alive. They're Pinocchio. They want to become, they're like probably like that Vicious P fucking game where Pinocchio's evil. They're trying to kill God because they think they can become living beings if they do that. I mean, I really doubt they have any thoughts at all. I've been listening to them talk for a long time, and there's just nothing going on up here. This is the reality of what we deal with, where they'll do shit like this. Because the whole world revolves around me. All right, can you tell me that's a lie? How fake is the world? That's what I'm saying. I'm moving the sun. I have fucking humans attack me because they think I'm God. Like my whole fucking life, they're surrounding me with their cults that I fucking despise, and which are trying to teach me that God is their bitch, and God is their servant, and God licks their feet. Literally, they come up to me talking about God licking their feet, and God, and their God, and when they say eat feces, like, this is the real Christianity. This isn't the fake Christianity that colonizers use to dumb your mind down when they kill and rape your family, and they need you, the child, who's left alive, to work and toil land for them, because in their brain, Earth is real, and someone has to stock those shelves. Someone has to work on something. Someone has to do something. I mean, like, this is like any video game. You know, the innkeeper thinks he has to be there at the end 24/7 waiting for you. The swords seller thinks he has to be right there with the fucking swords. And he doesn't have to be. He could not be there. You know, there's games where you have to make a sword, but you don't have to, do you? You don't have to, but they swear up and down they do. They swear they do. So, how fake is it when there is literally your own parents aren't living beings? When the world seems to be pretty much your words playing out. Not all the way, again, visual novel. We have a base storyline here. We have this great white terror cult who has enslaved the planet. They're not really white, but they're hiding behind the words, and anyone who wants to join them can die with them. So I will gladly use that term, and I will gladly watch them all die. Fucking no problem here. My dick doesn't need wet anymore. It's fucking disgusting that that's ever happened, actually. And they're probably on to that, because the last 2 times they sent a whore into my life, I stopped during sex with them, and I was like, hey, get the fuck off me, shit. Put your clothes back on. You look disgusting. And not the last time, but definitely 2 times before that. But the last time the person was like, starting to talk to me about being with them, and I'm like, no, I'm leaving this country. See you later. So, I've never really invested, which is good, because we're watching how fake the world is. Does anyone else do these things? Anyone else notice that there's bots around them, and then there's this white terror cult that's like, they appear as if they have magical skills, because they appear out of nowhere. But I don't think they actually teleport. I think that's like any video game where an NPC appears out of nowhere. When I spin around 360, if I need a prostitute or I need a blue Lamborghini, I just spin around a few times, and a blue Lamborghini will magically appear as it drops memory and replaces it with new memory and shit. I really, I get the idea that this is all what's actually happening, because how is it happening if it's not what's happening? You see what I'm saying? How does it happen if it's not what's happening? Now, they like to make the argument that because they want to be living, literally, the only thing I can get from their actions and their attitude is they wish they could be living people. And so they hate God because of this, because God can't figure out how to make them living. Nor would anyone want to. And sad, and they're probably correct about a few things. There's multiverses. That means someone else somewhere is playing the same damn video game. And instead of a picture of Jesus with long brown hair, there's Jesus with like tan skin and a blonde afro and a square head and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's someone else's universe. It's just everyone. There's a million people playing Mario. How come there's only one Mario in each Mario game you play? Because they're in different multiverses. Fucking But you see, ain't that weird how they'll explain what's going on, but they'll still be like the antagonist in the game? Like, motherfuckers will explain to you what they're gonna do. It's so weird, especially since 2020. I've noticed this. Maybe it was something I asked for that altered the game's parameters. But people would like explain to me what they're gonna do. Like, they would mention, hey, I'm a robber. I usually rob people, but I'm not gonna rob you. It's like, well, you shouldn't tell people that, you know. And then what happens? They do what they're talking about and shit. And I always say, as a living being, what you do is you take someone's words and that's all they are. A person can't speak words they don't know. They can't speak of words of a life they don't live. They've never lived. They can only speak of what they know. But it's much more than that. It's just like the whole like coincidence thing. Oh, it's a coincidence that the humans tried to attack and kill me before COVID, the same way they did with COVID to each other. Not quite the same, not quite in detail, but I think, again, there's a few parameters there that aren't even included in the discussion of the corona shutdown. So, like, no one's discussing why are we calling it the mind virus and shit, you know? And again, I think that goes back to the 9/11 thing. Well, who were we trying to get rid of with 9/11? Who had tried to kill us? Whose government was it that tried to kill me? It's the judicial system. That's right. So, who owns the media? Those are all the same people. The little crackhead who tried to kill me, his family is the bloodline who owns the media. So they go and they make up a false fucking narrative and shit about, oh, people fly planes in the building. Now, granted, I believe that might have been set up, like, by the actual game, because it sends the two groups after me, and then the two groups go to war with one another. But you can see like that money was placed in advance, and they tried to place the money in advance last time they did that too, in case I actually did try to defend myself, or you know what they would have done is they would have probably tried to lock me up and just take the money, because that's what they did last time. They just took my fucking life. The rat white people and their minions just took fucking my life from me, which is infinitely more important than any billion bots in a video game. Actual life is far more valuable than a video game. But so you can see the game setting up these events, the patterns, and it slowly is showing me what I can do. You know, it's like playing a normal video game where I start out with just a dagger, and then I learn a fireball spell, and then I learn a lightning spell, and then, you know, this is literally what's happening and shit here. Fucking and then except for there's like the whole psychological horror, but the bots, because we wouldn't, you know, living beings don't sit around and play Breeder Baby in The Sims. That would be the most boring thing ever on for billions of years. We're just gonna breed a baby and feed a baby and stock shelves at the store and clean toilets. No. See, a living being would be like, after like a few weeks of that, would be like, well, we're gonna kill ourselves. But if you're not living, you won't understand that. And in fact, if you're not living in this game, the terror cult is like pro-life, because the white enslavers need to keep their slaves alive, and they know that, like, if you just kill yourselves, then you won't be a slave and your children won't be slaves, and it goes on and on and on. No one's ever broken free of their slavery. That's how they've conquered the map. Every time an empire falls, it doesn't really fall. They're changing their name. They're shedding their snakeskin. Every time that's why they create a new religion each time an empire falls, because all of a sudden they're the victims. You remember, they were the victims in Egypt, but they got the Egyptian pyramid on their dollar bill. They were the victims in Israel, but are they really? Have you ever seen a victim in Israel? It doesn't look like that's what victims do. That's not what a victim looks like to me. You know, they're the victims. They went to Europe and Germany, but now they own Germany. They're the victims. They're not telling you they're the victims in USA yet. They're not telling you that, but they're definitely saying there's some other people. They're already telling you we're Europeans who came from Egypt and Middle East a long time ago. So what are you? Are you Egyptian, Middle Eastern, or European? It doesn't matter, fucking. But all that matters is we know they're lying. So this is the base storyline. You know, their people are in this all the way. They're bots, whatever. Fucking, they're like, literally like a psychological horror instead of the standard game where you walk around with an army and conquer people. You know, that's what they have to do and shit. They have to do stuff like that. And we find out, you know, when 9/11 happens, that we're not allowed to defend ourselves against them. We can't pick up a sword and just throw the trash out. Because they have this entire, like, planet. How do you destroy a fucking entire planet of terrorists and shit if they're getting all whiny bitch-like because you've figured out how to say it's time for you to die and someone kills themselves? Which was the equivalent of what happened if we're ignoring the preset money, the preset events, and their people being forced into my life to be able to call their friends on the phone, their enemies. This was my friend I left, but he looks a lot like these people, so I'm assuming he called them and said intercept him. It's like 3 a.m, he's real fucked up. Which I actually wasn't, but a human would have been on the shit I was on. Fucking, and, you know, intercept him and try to kill him. Fucking, because this is the patterns I see. And so their people have been forced into my life doing this the whole fucking time I've been here. And, so how fake is this world? That's the answer. Is it just a few zeros and ones on a computer chip in the real world? Is it nothing more than a few words someone has written out? And it looks like there's something here. It looks like there's something here. It feels so real, doesn't it? When they bash your head open. Actually, you know, it only does for a little bit until you realize that humans die from that, and I'm not, but it feels pretty real for a second there. It gives you like a thud feeling. You get to feel like your brain hit your fucking skull and shit, and it's like a jarring feeling and shit. So it feels real, don't it? But it doesn't look real. And we can alter it, fucking. So I've noticed that this is what happens. Like, unfortunately, like, I'm in their. I have to be born in their nation. I mean, how else would I know what they're up to if I'm not? Because I doubt anyone anywhere else understands. If It's like they're all talking about all this dumb shit. Like all the media is one of these white rat looking people. So you're all listening to them. I see David Icke and, Fox News, dude. They're still pushing the fucking, their secondary 9/11 bullshit. Like they made a second 9/11 cover up. The first 9/11 was probably designed by their creators to do that, to attack both groups that their creator designed to attack me. But then when I started researching what's going on to actually get involved, to become king, I guess, that's when they invented the 9/11 truth. And again, we already know they use the words truth, love, hope, peace, democracy, freedom. And it's just white terrorism. This is how white terrorism works. It's a word game. And so, so it should have been obvious. I wasn't fully aware because still under the spell of certain people. And 9/11 Truth was a huge part of misdirecting me and shit, and having me look at shit. I didn't remember, I didn't think anything of it. I watched TV and I'm like, oh, those buildings suck. They should be fucking removed. I didn't think anything of that till COVID. If something would change when I would say something like that. But it took COVID to do that because their people were continually doing these events and shit. And then they would create other things. Like I had learned early on, fuck this society. And they would, pretty much every white person, which is the majority of people they would allow in my life, they would almost always escort other people if they allowed them in my life. And I think they probably got to a point where they realized they had to bring people who weren't their race into my life because I didn't like their people. I didn't like their nations. I didn't like anything they've done for thousands of years. I didn't like their current attitudes. So it's weird how they do that dog on a leash thing with their minions and stuff. But it definitely happens. They definitely have dogs on the leash there. And we know that 2021 was a good example of that. So we apply what we actually see the mutants doing. And then we move forward, with understanding. And you got to filter out. Basically, you got to stop letting them talk to you. Because every word they say is a lie. And conflicts with reality. And so that you can't, when you're being brainwashed, when you got someone on the corner every day telling you, give us all your money for hope, love, and peace, or else we're going to kill you, you learn that. If you're told that every hour, the media tells you this every hour. Your fake parents, your bot parents, especially if they are the evil white rat people, will tell you this every fucking hour and shit. And of course they have military to teach you this if you don't listen, but that's someone else, because religion isn't the government. It's called the judicial system on accident. Yeah, it's an accident. They accidentally wear pentagrams and stars of David's. It's an accident. Oh yeah, the Nazis are so against themselves that they use the fucking display of their enemy on their police uniforms. Great example of this is how the West Coast is different than the East. Because on the West Coast, there's a lot of more pentagrams and Star of David badges, but same people, ain't it? Like, you either got to worship Trump or you got to worship Newsom. But they're twins, aren't they? And they're twin brothers. What's the difference? It's the same mafia family. The mafia literally is their people. They look the same as every fucking, as Al Capone. Fucking, there's a reason they got to create all these new names. It's a new call. It's Satanism. Oh, it's Blue Smurfism with the six-armed elephant god. Oh, it's Buddhism. Oh, it's Karl Marxism. So the reality here seems to be that we have a very long visual novel that we are reading, and that seems to be like the only thing that really has any importance to breathe, wasting your time breathing, wasting your time eating, wasting your time walking. What's the point of breathing? What's the point of walking? What's the point of eating? What's the point of living? Is it to go stock shelves that stock themselves if no one stocks them? Is it to pave roads in cities that don't even exist yet? I would think we could find the purpose by looking at what's happening. Obviously, we can't find it by listening, because they're the ones trying to keep reality away from the viewer. That seems to be the whole thing here. Is living people come to this, and it's kind of like a maze to see how long it takes you to figure out that it's all fake. And but why is it designed to only start unfolding in 2020? Because we have all these things that get in the way and prevent you from interacting with it. Beginning with, it's unwelcome and you don't want to interact with it. But they have several methods. Like my mother would, the thing that claims it gave birth to me, would disrupt. Like, I was passed up like 4 grades. I should have been out of college by the time I was like 14 or 10 or whatever time it would have been. But my mother and the school I worked with had set me back after I got passed up 4 grades. The discussions I had heard the teachers talking about, it's like, oh, what are the kids going to do? Are they going to beat them up or something? And meanwhile, like, what they did is they actually put me in a different room with the school fucking bully. And I got along with him. But I could tell this was like the school bully, and this is why he was separated from everyone else. So their story, the humans were already trying to put me in a room when I'm 6 years old with like a 12-year-old school bully and shit. And they're to each other, because I did the remote viewing thing. And I listened to the conversation before the events unfolded, so I know it was happening. And they were talking about shit like that. Meanwhile, like, you see how two-faced they are. I'm a 6-year-old. They're setting me aside in a room by myself with a school bully, who's twice my age, who's actually like a fucking adult, and I'm like a little fucking baby. And at the same time, they're discussing how to get me out of 5th grade. Pretty much, because that's what ended up happening. They're discussing what to do with me, but it doesn't line up with their words, with their actions, because their actions are a person starts talking to me who is not the white rat people, and that girl, like, instantly, I get passed up 4 grades, which is the only logical thing here, because I should have been passed up to college, but um, but it's designed differently. So I get to hear the human bots over here talking because the game allowed me to access third person remote viewing. So I moved over, about 200 feet over a few walls, and I got to hear the keywords of the conversation and shit. And it was discussing like what to do with me, and their excuse was someone was going to beat me up while they were locking me in a room with fucking. They were isolating me with the fucking school bully and shit. Fucking and no one ever had a problem with me, and no one ever thought I was a kid. I mean, I was buying cigarettes and alcohol by the time I was 14, because I actually bought cigarettes first when I was like 6 or 7, but that wasn't from a person. So that's like really one of my first memories is when I get to do the third person remote viewing and see how fake is the world if I access third person camera and I get to remote view this huge thing, which is it's a if I wouldn't have had this, I would have no memories, nothing to link 9/11, COVID, last year's events, every other event. We would have had nothing until about 94, until I was about 14. But this was like a precursor. It was like opening the first chapter to a game, and you're still like, you're still not controlling the character. You're still seeing the story play out and stuff, and it's educating me on who they are and what they're up to. It's not educating me on who they are or what they are yet. But that falls into place later. Obviously, third person remote viewing, we're in a fake game world, and so when these things happen, you put all that together. How fake is the world we're in and shit? That the whole world revolves around me. You notice too, they got songs against that. They got a lot of songs. Like they got a lot of songs against. Like in 2020, you might notice if you listen to metal, there's a lot of whiny baby metal. A lot of metal musicians were like, "Oh my God, God is attacking and killing us and stuff," and it's like, "Oh, you're so evil, God. You're so evil." Now, you if you're not in my shoes, just assume they were mad that Jeffrey Epstein got killed or taken to his mansion in Israel and couldn't work the streets no more. But from my point of view, I get to see all the media instantly auto-generated. Maybe not all of it, but there's definitely a lot there. So that's where that shit came from. That was what I was experiencing too. Sometimes in the streets, like when the fire started over here and shit, people were acting all scary and weird and shit when I went outside that day. And during the COVID thing, obviously people were acting all scary and weird. And so you can see how they would all be the same computer, because they're all part of the stranger you meet on the street who can respond to what you just did in private an hour ago, is linked to the same computer generating Jeffrey Epstein. It's of the same bloodline. It's what's that called? The same silicone line. Silicone. It's not even blood, is it? It's not even silicone either, is it? It's zeros and ones. But that's how fake it is. That's how fake it is. I say shit, and then the fucking top band in the world fucking makes a fucking CD repeating my words and shit. It's not always like that, obviously. We have the preset shit, like the money for when they sent their little bitch to try to kill me. I don't know if that was the first time or the millionth time or what, because they were drugging me when I was a child. So technically, they were trying to kill me once or twice a day for 800, 900 days straight. So who knows how many other times there were, because it's just, it's just like background noise when people are trying to drug and kill me and shit. And that's probably also where America's drug problem comes in, because you can see how they do shit to me, and then karma gets them, which like that's a cute little word, but when you're paid to fucking kill someone to give them their karma, then that's set up, and that's not karma, that's set up in advance to happen. So that's not the correct word. But I did notice since 2020, that's probably why only one nation in the world is filled with crackheads. But on the outside, if you're not in my shoes, you see that, you can most logically see that as well, they're a bunch of drug addicts who go around forcing each other to take drugs. And that's the results of what you can expect. But me, being in my shoes, seeing how the world unfolds, there was other people, they were probably doing that too. It was unheard of when they started doing it to me. But now they do it to a lot of kids and shit. And that's an expected result. You can't blame, Mexicans aren't trash. So Mexico ain't all that Hollywood shit that the white rat people show you on their news and TV. Those are just lies. And this is likely part of the cover-up too. You know how we create the truth, the 9/11 truth, to further obfuscate the actual truth of that it's a fake game world, and people can just say those buildings should be erased, and the buildings don't have to be blown up or hit with a plane or nothing. The game can just delete the fucking video game. The game can just delete buildings, and you don't fucking see it. You can see that in the LA fires, some of the ones last year. There was areas where literally pixel square size shapes weren't touched, and everything else around it were completely burned down. It purposely made videos where there was pixels, perfect square shapes, untouched, surrounded by buildings of concrete that burnt down. So it's been making things real obvious since 2020, which is something I asked for. But that going back to like why USA is this fourth world nation who has like drug addicts and who are fried mentally and stuff like that. I think that just goes back to their karma coming at them, right? Me personally, though, I'd see that as, oh, they did it to me and then it happens to them. But hey, they do it to everyone, right? Like that is the logical story behind 9/11, is they do that to everyone. So of course it's going to happen to them at some point. That is the logical answer to 9/11. Fucking, that's never on the TV too. No, on TV is just like, has ever been just like, well, you're fucking terrorists. Like, why are you crying about it, you little bitch? Fucking, that's what's going to happen to you. That's what's expected to happen when you go around blowing up people. They're going to blow you up. You're not untouchable because you live in Barbie's fucking mansion. Like if Barbie leaves her mansion, drives her Corvette down the road fucking shooting at people, one day someone's going to come to Barbie's fucking mansion and shoot it the fuck up. And it's called karma. It's called reality. If you go around the world fucking enslaving people, it's going to come back to you at some point. Other than that, you're going to fucking enslave the whole planet, and it's going to be a real shitty fucking planet. One of the two is going to happen because people aren't just going to let it fucking happen. Of course, let's write a book saying, let it fucking happen. Just keep letting them do it. Just keep letting them fucking do it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'll fix the white rat people. That'll prevent Elon Musk from becoming the richest person in the world. Just keep letting him rob people. Fucking. Of course, Elon Musk writes a book saying that because, little bitch ass 90-pound fucking white boys can't do much else and shit. They're not, Koopa isn't granted steroid powers till like till like the year 2000. I mean, there are people introduced that shit in the mid 1900s, and either it didn't allow them to use it or they know not to use it, and they're testing on other people like rats. The rats are testing on people like they're rats. Fucking anyways, put all this shit together. Fucking looks pretty obvious for me. Kind of useless and pointless. The only real answer besides the only real question there is like, why are you forced to play a visual novel for so long? Because books are stupid, and Earth is one of the dumbest books I've ever fucking read. It's very generic, cut out, copy paste. It gets old after a few hours or something. You're hearing the same shit over and over and over and over and over. And it's just like, it's like I never understood how humans can play Mario and Pong over and over and over and still like it. I know humans can do that. There's like 80-year-old humans who do what they did 60 years ago. And I'm just like, well, I guess, whatever. But I don't think in reality you would, like, living people do that type of shit. Because it gets boring after a few minutes. So we have, pretty much, there we go. So until someone starts telling you the real story, know that they're all lying to you. I'm fucking behind 9/11. I'm behind COVID. Behind a lot of other shit. But technically, I mean, see, the reason why we're not discussing these things is because the fear that other people have, because when they say those words, the question will be, well, why? And the why will be, well, because we're terrorists and we tried to kill him. And he has that ability to casually say dumb words and it come into existence. And so that's why we're making up different stories here. 9/11 truth, and oh, they planted bombs in the building, and they've even went as far as like ratting themselves out while doing that. Fucking, like they blame themselves, but then again, of course, everyone thinks Israel's some small city in the middle of the earth, and it's not like who owns everything. And it's not the Christians. They're not the Christians. They just worship their race as gods. Because every race, your race is really stupid if you're just going to worship another race as gods for no reason. What happens is people have to kill your parents and tell you you're going to die if you don't worship them. And that's how that shit works, fucking. And of course, they feel the need to keep the children alive because they need slaves. So this is where the game introduces a hole in Ganon's master plan. As Ganon has to keep slaves alive. He has to do a delicate balance of enslaving the Mushroom Kingdom and killing the bad toadstools who don't worship him. And just just as any game that would introduce slavery as part of the story would do on this planet. Even Dune is a clone. The movie, book, game Dune is a clone of these stories. That's how repetitive this Earth thing is. Once you've read 8 books, watched 8 movies, listened to 8 radio stories, you've pretty much heard every story that they're ever going to be able to say. Because whatever's generating it has limited ability. It has limited. So what you're seeing is most likely AI generation, and there's no such thing as AI. It's just computer generated. This word AI is the same as the quantum mechanic, quantum computing. It's nothing new. It's the same thing. They're just trying to make it that we need to control calculators because if people have calculators, they can be smart, and we're not smart, and we're Koopas. All we have is fucking disgustingness and ignorance, and we use that. We kill and enslave with it, and we've won a lot with this, but they're nerfed, and that they don't get full access to the spectrum of talents, personalities, abilities. They get nerfed, because the story wouldn't make sense if they were great and they were killers, like they'd have it all. They'd have the intelligence, they'd have the beauty, they'd have the brawn, they'd have the nukes. They wouldn't have to enslave other people either, because they could just have killed them. And then there'd be a hole in that story, because why didn't they kill all the people that they've enslaved? Because that's what's going to bring them, that's what brings them down every time. When the game's telling you what's happening now, it does that by writing the history, because history didn't actually exist. So all that stuff is a fabrication of something. It's telling you the shit that's going on now and stuff. It's the same thing over and over. It's like, on my end, it's like the prostitute in Grand Theft Auto. I keep going down the block and I keep seeing the same prostitute over and over. It's my decision when I jump in and I start playing that game. Until then, the prostitute is just going to keep appearing. And when I finally want to play the prostitute game, I can start playing the prostitute game. And so we see all the past, all the histories are what is happening now and shit. And some of this shit is not even written yet. So sometime, when it takes them 2 years to produce a movie that is mirroring my life as it happens, that's being generated right then. That's not created 2 years ago. There's no history to that movie. That movie is brand spanking new. It was just invented right now. And I've noticed these parallels and the rest of the stuff too here, where sometimes you say something and then it comes up with a history of it invents a nation who did that and shit. But I think at the basis right here, I don't know. I would love to take my family and fucking string them up at Guantanamo Bay and see if any of the humans actually know more than they're saying. Now, they do act like some shady rat bitches, but I'd say at the end of the day, stringing them up is probably the furthest we're gonna get. Fucking because as much as they act like shady rat bitches, I personally get the idea that they're just bots with nothing in their head, and so they don't actually know why. You know, Goomba, why is Goomba, have you ever asked Goomba when you play Mario, why is Goomba trying to kill you? What would Goomba say? Could Goomba even understand the words? Goomba would just try to kill you. This is literally what I get from my mom when I start questioning her. You know, why did you do this? Why did you start injecting yourselves with poisons after you and your friends kidnapped me? You know, I don't quite get that far because I know terrorist. I've got to play safe word game with the terrorist terror toaster. So you know, I'm just like, why did you do that COVID stuff when I told you to? You know, I wasn't like, why did you work with your terrorist friends? And then when I said you should do it to yourself, you did it to yourself, you know, which is the actual thing, you know, like, well, you're a terrorist who just kidnapped and drugged me, you and your friends. And so why did you start kidnapping and drugging yourself when I said so? You know, that would have been the real thing. But I know this motherfucker's a terrorist, dude. And so what do? They attack me, and then they call their little Nazi fucking pig friends and tell them I attacked that fucking fat lazy bitch. And it's like, bro, like when I attack you, you die and go to hell. I hit fucking bricks and fucking steel, and I fucking toss anything below that across the fucking room. That means my fist will go through your fucking skull like a goddamn fucking laser beam and shit. I don't attack people, obviously, because I don't have a string of fucking dead bodies attached to my fucking, well, I don't have like endless serial killer conqueror streams attached to my fucking name and shit. And I learned, you know, I learned early on. I'm 6 years old and they're hitting me and I block them and they start crying about I've hurt them and shit. Fucking, you know, and then you got the 9/11 events where they tried to kill me and then they got all mad because I was like, well, you should probably kill yourself instead of trying to kill me. And then he killed himself. And they got all mad about that. Which, I mean, obviously that's set up because that money was there 6 months in advance to pay for the trash to be taken out and the problems that the rest of the trash was going to fucking cause after that and shit. Fucking, that the trash nation and their cult were going to cause after that. So these are the reality of what's happening here. You know, you've got the white cracker terrorists who are like the Koopa fucking of the world. And they, you know, obviously they're not from white cracker land, but they seem to enjoy those people enough that they're the only people they like and hang out with and shit. So I don't know. Whatever. They probably killed most of those people in the Crusades. Fucking that was just colonization of Europe. So and any other nation, obviously that was for the Middle East too, but little weird to colonize where you come from. You might have already did that, and then again, there's always this story about who we were, which isn't at all who they were, doing what they were doing, which is usually the opposite of what they were actually doing. You know, so to them, they would write America is the saviors of the planet, and they're Mexicans and Asians, and then if someone ever figures out they're not the saviors of the planet, they'll be like, oh, well, we should kill the Mexicans and Asians because they're fucking terrorizing the planet in America, from America. And, you know, they've already done this. You know, they weren't the Romans. They weren't the Egyptians. and they're always someone else. And it was the Romans colonizing. It was the Egyptians who were an empire. It was the king of Britain. It wasn't them. It wasn't the people who had just colonized them with the Crusades. Just like the Crusades are, who was it? Oh, well, it was Europeans invading the Middle East, when in reality, the Bible was written in the Middle East. So in order for it to get to Europe, they would have had to colonize Europe and kill them and force them to worship them. But all they do is simply change 2 words in the story, and the dead people they just killed can't say anything. They can't be like, oh, this is not me. The Europeans can't say, oh, there ain't no Europeans left. We're all dead. There ain't no Native Americans left to say, oh, there ain't no Native Americans left. We're all dead. There ain't, there ain't no Russians left to create Russia today. To be like, oh, there ain't no Russians left. They killed us 100 years ago. There ain't no Palestinians left to say, oh, they started killing us 100 years ago. Supposedly they just started bombing them yesterday, but it was over 100 years ago. It was when Hitler fucking. There ain't no Germans left to say there ain't no Germans left. They killed us all. That's how it works. Once these whitish people replace the other people, then those people are no longer with us to say anything, and they can't. You watch their movies, they watch their media, watch their news. Bigfoot, Santa Claus, Easter bunnies. This is a genetic defect. This doesn't come from the words of a person whose parents have taken Tylenol or was raised improperly. These are people who have it ingrained in their genetics to be scam artists and con men and to lie and deceive constantly. And so it comes through in everything they do. They make trash and they sell it. They are trash, and so they can act it out on stage really well. They can create trash religions and sell them, because it takes a really fucking distinctly defunct DNA to fucking go around forcing people to talk about 6-armed blue elephants and fucking Santa Claus and flying reindeer. It takes a specific breed of trash. That's not just no one wakes up one day and starts talking to their family about invisible squirrels fucking crawling all around the room. And if they do, they would get sent away. But these people do it because the conglomeration of them throughout the history of them. This is all they did. This is the first book, is them inventing delusions and shit. And every book they've written since is filled with it. The news filled with shit like that. Fucking the ads on the news are the same click here, Bigfoot sighting shit that I get in the ads at Russian media too. So it would be the same people doing that shit, because not everyone goes that far in life. I would have never had anyone around me if people were talking about flying, and if everyone talked about flying invisible reindeer and shit like that. You gotta, like, some people know to keep the bullshit to a reality-based minimum. Fucking. And others are genetically disposed to be the trashiest trash they can be. And Well, hopefully we get this Earth problem solved because I'm real tired of these humans. I mean, my whole time here has been the white rapist race forcing their way into my life, me not wanting them around for the most part. The most disgusting ones of them too. I mean, motherfuckers fucking their animals and shit like that. I don't know if that's just like a human thing, if they all do that, but I do because I've got that one group in my life and shit. Fucking animals, talking about invisible flying reindeer, fucking talking about I am a living being when they're just a fucking Terminator. Shit like that. Hopefully we get this shit over with. I know humans aren't concerned with that because they're bots and they're programmed to say they love life, even though they have no idea what life fucking is. They've never had to live a fucking second in their lives, in their non-lives, in their appearance on the fucking screen. As far as I can tell, that's like reality because, like what I do beside asking for plagues and twin towers to be fucking removed from the planet is I also try to create humans specifically to see if I can do that. And that was definitely being made to appear somewhat, very, very somewhat likely to be happening. Yeah. Hopefully we get this shit over with because, this is just 40 years of memories of having white rapists forced into my life. And as the days go on, the more I despise them. I despise some of them from the second I have memories of them. And them and their system have still tied the very first terrorist into my life. To this day, that fucker is still trying to kill me. Because they and their rat government have worked together to fucking create this illusion that they're living beings and not some sort of terrorist bots, and link shit together and force it. I can only imagine what the purpose of trying to keep me tied down to the most vile and disgusting person they've ever forced into my life. And that's really hard to compete. There's a lot of good contenders that's not even a person who has sex with animals. So imagine how far you got to go to become number one if there are people fucking animals to trying to take that position from you and shit. So yeah. I notice they're still trying me down to that. And little bitches. The new kick here is a little while. Like I said, you can listen to music. They're telling you my life. The media is telling you my life a lot. Fucking hell. Some of that metal music is they're just taking my fucking life and my words, and AI is generating a song and generating some people who claim they're making it. And then you got the humans as Chuck E. Cheese figures on stage, animatronics fucking playing the songs. And that seems to be actual reality. The only reality we can find while we're trapped in here is real close to all that. Okay, so I wasn't telling you what reality is. I was telling you what happens in reality. And so you add that up and get from it what you want. And don't get anything you want from it. get reality from it. You can't make up your own shit. Fucking. Anyways, yeah, fucking death to the world. We need to get this shit over with as fast as we can because I'm never gonna like humans. I know they're obsessed with me, and this is the problem: stalkers, an obsession, violent rapists. No one wants to be your friend. Fucking, no one wants to be the friend of a terrorist who is not working terror for a good cause. Terror is useful. 9/11, useful. Dismantling an empire, useful. Fighting back white colonizers stealing your land who are calling you terrorists, useful. Creating the word terrorist because we're getting scared of calling black and brown people rats and rodents and apes. That's useful for them, and it's a sign because we've reached this point where they're scared to tell us how they really feel. And people are saying, that Trump shit. Like a couple were asking, is that new? It's like, oh, are you living on stolen land? How new was it stolen? Are you living on land that was invaded by some other people wherever you are in the world? How long ago was that invaded? Is it new? It's not new. It's new that they've switched back to vernacular. It's new that they got scared of using the old vernacular. That was the new shit. When I was born, that was new. That other humans had rights and nations had a right to exist besides America. That was new. That was actually new in history. Like in the history of this country, that was new shit happening. And again, I'm not sure how long ago that was actually created, considering shit gets created like on the fly sometimes here. But I'm pretty sure we got the set storyline here of what's happening, because obviously there's the presets. There's 2020 where I get led to eventually see all these things, and so time has to be stalled until that date in order for that not to get seen. I pretty much have to be born and then never talk to people for 40 years for that to happen in the year 2020. Because it would have only taken a couple minutes for me to start putting that shit together. But the second I started trying when I was 6 years old, my response was to just quit talking to these people and find a way to get them to stop forcing their way into my life rather than interrogate them further, because interrogation of them led to nothing. It just delusions, psychopathy, lies. That's all we were getting from them. So, 6 years old, first memory is the first time I was probably alive, even. First time I entered the Earth Games. Like right away, you learn, just ignore them and it will go wherever it's going to go. Because you can't really do anything versus 8 billion people, right? Or a couple billion. So that's like the entire life here. And so now we have like 45 years of memories, not so much, of just trying to avoid these people as they bring Bigfoot and Santa Claus stories back into your life because they're obsessed with you. For some reason or another, they're obsessed with you and they need to tell you about Bigfoot and Santa and life and truth and love and hope and freedom and democracy. And I think it's important to note that I think every person they sent in my life was like a pro-war terrorist and shit. Um, which is really weird that their people are forcing that into my life, considering I'm like the only one who is against them. But we link it all together later. Link that all together. You know, why would there be a group of people on this planet who know that I fucking attacked them on 9/11 and then cover it up and then send their people into my life trying to convince me war is great and all this shit? And, you know, links. They don't have many thoughts. They don't have many actions. Everything they do and say, it all boils down to like a 20, 30-minute story. It's all on repeat. It's all the same thing happening. It's like the prostitute appearing around every corner in Grand Theft Auto. The same prostitute, same game, same 6 dialogue sentences. Just sitting there waiting for you to play the game and shit. So, you know, I think we've got what reality is figured out, because in 2020, I said everything should be shown to everyone. And that's when the AI stuff, the advanced computing came around. And so that is showing us how Earth and humans are being invented. That's showing us how when I go to a new city and the city magically appears as situations in my life, and this literally the writing, you got that phrase, the writings on the wall, like, oh yeah, I'm sure that writing was written 100 years ago to tell me where to go today when I appear here. So just like any video game you play, how do you find out what's going on in the game? Well, there'll be like a sign, a writing on the wall, just magically telling you where to go, not the other 7 million characters in the game, but you. The sign's there telling you where to go. It doesn't say, you know, dog barber, get your hair cut, go up. You know, dog barber ain't even there, but everyone else supposedly has a dog barber. So they need the dog barber. How come there's no signs pointing to the dog barber in the Legend of Zelda Super Nintendo version or any of the other versions I've seen? Are you telling me that people in the world of magic don't need a dog barber? In an advanced magical world, no one needs a dog barber. The dogs they just grow it all out. There's no dog clothing stores either. There's no. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure. So I know I'm sure about everything I just said. It happened. You can confirm that in some videos where I've said certain things before they happen, like the mask video I posted in December 2019. That's rather small, but then there was a war video too mid last year before Israel got invaded, and which lines up perfectly with everything else I'm saying, how it just happens. And wow, dude, wouldn't that suck if like some of these characters were actual living beings slipping in and out of bots, and they think they're my family and friends in the real world, and I would rather fucking watch them be tortured forever than ever talk to them again. Wouldn't that suck? But I chose some really bad fucking friends and family in the real world. If any of these characters are them. any of the characters around me. So that's my fault. That would be my fault. But I get the idea not, because you have like so many clones. There's so many clones, like the prostitute. Is it a different prostitute every block? Why does that prostitute in Grand Theft Auto? Why is there only three of them? Why does it look like there are only three of them? But there's one on every block, so there's like 8 million of them, right? There's no way it could be the same prostitute, unless it's teleporting across the map or something, right? So we so if any of that trash is living beings, they've done fucked it up for eternity, and they need to get the fuck out of my real house, pack the fuck up and leave, get the fuck out of my life, hire themselves some security. Fucking, because to me the war isn't even on Earth. Like, these bot motherfuckers here are just a symptom of a bigger problem. And that bigger problem, unlike humans, I like solving problems. We're gonna rip that problem up by the fucking roots and shit, and throw that in the compost heap. Fucking make something better with it. But for now we're stuck here. The fucked up thing is we come to Earth knowing these things. We come to Earth knowing these things. We know that those people around us aren't our friends and family. We know that they're enemies and they're just a lot bigger than us. We know these things. It's almost like, yeah, we probably have played a game like this before. It would really suck, though, as if that's because that's that same trash we deal with in the real world, and we didn't get rid of all the scum in the real world, and scum took over everyone else. Because look, in the real world, you would have these Israelis, the Americans, whatever you want to call the empire. You would have those people being smart enough to realize take no prisoners, because prisoners will fight back eventually. And what fails them every time in history is because they're obsessed with slavery. But in the real world, you would have a brain, and you would be able to think that through, and you would realize that there's nothing to gain significantly from slavery, and you will lose everything eventually through slavery, because you will breed, house, feed, clothe the people who will eventually fight to free themselves from you. So I would think in the real world we have this sorted out, and it's either one of the two ways. People like me aren't born, or people like them aren't born anymore. Either they would have completely closed the deal, or we would have completely closed the deal. And I don't think you could really get to making an advanced game like this if you had problems like that. That's one of the unrealities of Earth, is how it's so terrorism and warmonger like, slavery like, but they just don't do anything with it. They don't excel at any of that. They don't take it to its culmination, to its peak. Ultimate slavery, ultimate terrorism, ultimate colonization, ultimate savagery. None of it goes to that extreme. And it's always the failure, too. It's always the failure of the previous empires written and shit. It's the failure of why Elvis isn't popular music anymore, because they didn't even try. It was like bing bong, and people are like, oh my god, that sounds so good. And then someone else invented bing bing bong, and they're like, oh, that bing bing bong's old. That bing bong is old. Bing bing bong is good. But they could have just invented Bing Bing Bong too, but they didn't achieve, they didn't aspire, they didn't try to go forward with their amassed talent. And I think that's also tied into specifically how it wouldn't be fun. Like you have to erase your memory for Earth to be fun and exciting. Pong isn't fun. It's not going to be fun until you erase your memory of everything else and you come back and you have no memory of anything and you play Pong and you're like, wow, this is amazing. This is crazy. Which ties us, I think, to the purpose here of playing a game like Earth, where you're like born to bots, you're surrounded, you get accosted by bots who a specific model of them who come into your life and shit. And nothing else warns you about that. Although I will say, I had shit forced in my life I didn't really want forced in my life, which was teaching me about this stuff. It just, they weren't really teaching me. It was kind of like ignorance. No one actually said anything intelligent. They just, it was like kind of like casually hinting. You know, I had this one person in my life who was like kicking my other friends to get them away, and then some girl I was hanging out with, he started hanging out with her instead. And I had another friend in my life who was part of an organization who was against their people. But I didn't know who his people was. I didn't know. No one was educating me. There was no education to be found. It was just like good music and stuff. So that's why I listened to it. And like he would talk about it and be like, oh, you know, he wouldn't actually talk about it. He would say he was taking action on it. And I'd be like, oh, that sounds stupid and pointless. This is like no one was explaining to me that, you know, there might be a point to that. They weren't. I don't see how anyone could have got involved in stuff like that because there was no education on what was happening. But it turns out to be those things were happening in my life, and it makes me wonder if it wasn't inventing that other person to like combat, you know, because I was like, oh, this person's kind of sick. They're fucking up my life, and then it might have invented that other person, you know, as a counter, like, hey, yeah, we think these people are sick and shit, and something needs done about them. But again, we have the set storyline, and obviously it's set because we're still forced to be alive here. Unwanted as Earth may be, we're still forced to be here. Of course, you know, why is that? Well, the reason is magically because there's only like 7 fucking things in this world, so it's tied to one of them. Can you guess what reason people would be forced to be alive? Well, colonizers wrote a book saying people they've enslaved can't die. Their mules, their slaves cannot die. So colonizers, I mean, you see, there's only like 7 things going on the planet. So what's the point of being in some stupid, fake fucking world no one wants to be, no living person wants to be in? What would the purpose of that be? It must be tied somewhere in one of the 7 things the humans can say. It must be tied into that. Well, you know, what the humans are telling me is it's definitely not because of the peace, love, and hope. Because the peace, love, and hope is, as specifically pops up in my headset the other day, Uh, for the second it popped in, there was a preacher, a radio evangelist, saying who blabs 24/7, and I really doubt he has the energy to do that. So he's probably recording his bullshit and replaying it because he thinks someone needs to hear his. If you don't hear the bullshit 24/7, you forget it because it's bullshit, and you start to see the truth. So you gotta record it and put it on repeat so everyone can hear it 24/7. Because the second it goes away, they'll forget that those lies existed and shit. But yeah, the non-colonizers who are in every land on the planet. Oh, it was magic. It's magic. They're magical sorcerer voodoo wizards. Ooh, big boy, that would be weird though. I probably shouldn't make fun of that because there's possibility someone else has that ability to speak words and it create large events. See? Yeah, it's kind of weird because to think so though, because when I'd like summon a new human, it creates like 1,000 other humans to support that human's backstory to make it appear real. So when I say other shit, and it involves like 2 billion people, it kind of starts to narrow it down to how many other ultimate sorcerers there might be on this planet. Especially like the summoning, creating human clone thing, that right there, like just starts to narrow down. And the parents being bots, like that pretty much erases, for me, that erases all history before my birth is fake and fraudulent. Because, well, if they weren't real, then none of that time, none of those people around them were real either. And they also have false memories and shit. So, and again, I think it's going to, I know they molded the direction of 2020, obviously molded the whole thing to get to 2020 being when those things started happening. But I know they also molded that area to kind of shift my words into fitting the extension of their amazing Stephen King boring level novel called Earth. But it does. Stephen King can write 10,000 page books all he wants. It doesn't mean the first page isn't boring enough to close it and never read another one. And he might be one of the writers of the Earth game, as far as I know. This thing's about it. The same thing that happened in my life happened when I bought a Stephen King book. I read the first page, never looked at it again. Put it on the shelf. Who knows where it went? Who cares? I'm over here. I'm gonna go buy a hammer to hit myself in the head with. Fuck that book, dude, bro. Oh, that feels. You know what? Could have used that book instead of wasting money on a hammer, right? That's the quality of Earth, though. Now, that's one thing Earth is useful for. There's a wall here. It's created from dirt, so it's created from Earth. I can bang my head into it. That's about one of the most useful things going on here, I think. One of the greatest memories. I think I actually have memories of banging my head into the wall. Yes, I do. Yes, I do, because the rest isn't worth remembering. So that's pretty odd that I literally have memories of banging my head into the wall, but I don't even know who the fuck I've met my entire life. I know like 4 or 5 people, and I'm pretty sure I met a lot more than that. Closely I hung out with probably a lot more than that. And I only remember those others because of those events where it's forcing me to remember memories and little key positions that lead me to seeing things like COVID and 9/11 and shit like that. So, hopefully we can get this over with, dude. Man, I'm really hoping like I get to die and then we get to go choke the fuck out and stab the motherfuckers we know in real life who are like in control of keeping us here and shit. You know, you gotta have big goals in life. You just can't be a loser obsessed with money and working for the devil and shit. Fucking, you gotta have big goals. You know, we're gonna go to different worlds and solve real problems, have a real life in a real world. I mean, can you imagine that? Living in a real world, getting to make your own choices, dating people you want to date, marrying people you want to marry, having children that you like and aren't half fucking devil terrorists who you would rather throw into a wood chipper. And Yeah, I mean that's what's happening here, isn't it? The events are set up. You're married to someone who's forced their way into your life. You're dating someone who's forced their way into your life. Your family is someone who's forced their way into your life. Your friends are probably. There's a few. There's a couple times where I have no evidence to back up that happen. But I've met millions of people, so a couple times is like saying, I farted a couple times and oil and gold came out my butt, right? Sometimes you do drink oil. Sometimes you do accidentally swallow a golden earring. So yeah, a couple times that happens. But I think the reality here is this place is entirely fake and set up, mostly pre-staged, and there's a few events that might be happening. Like I have a detailed book over here where I created the last human I tried to create, and that person shows up, right? So that time. I wrote a 2-paragraph person. That's a lot of blanks there, right? A 2-paragraph person is the equivalent of a person who's been alive for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe. So, you can't really. We definitely didn't take credit for that, and we didn't create that to take credit for it. We created that person to study them. So the intention of creating them would have been something else in a different life, in a different world. But at this point, this is just monotonous and repetitive. Every human I see, all I see is a non-player character, Bod, who's likely a terrorist. And I've had so many interactions. There's only like 127 different human model skins. So when I have 30 to 60 of them who have caused all these problems, try to kill me, that means every time I see, there's 127 of them cloned enough times to make 8 billion. So every time I see those 60, that's my enemy. That's someone I don't want. That's a rapist. That's a murderer. That's a terrorist. That's a drugger. That's a colonizer. And some of these people, like the clones, be cloning for real. Like literally they'll have the same voices, the same personalities, the same names. Like I had 2 Joes in the same room who were like the same person. And definitely the same attitude and all that. So I could expect, it's like, well, you're not just a clone of the terrorist. You
have the rapist personality with you and shit. For some reason, it bundles them together as if they're not being generated and they're preset. You know, kind of like the prostitutes in Grand Theft Auto. They're not being generated. It's the same three prostitutes appearing. It's There's nothing else. There's nothing else to it there. Ah. So I noticed, you know, like obviously, of course, the humans, uh, they've whined for decades. Oh, my pussy, I was raped and all this shit. You know, oh, my safe space and all this shit, but they don't grant it to living beings and shit. So I'm expected to allow the same rapist back to my life as long as they claim they're a different person and shit. And that's all they need to do. They can be the same exact person. They can do the same things. They can be forcing their way into my life as rapists do. And I'm supposed to accept that because they're bots. They don't have emotions. They aren't playing emotional games. They're psychopaths because they're bots, because they don't actually exist. So they don't actually have emotions. And they play the game that way too. They play it the only way a Goomba can. Fucking there is no safe space for living beings and shit because the bots don't have fucking feelings and all they've got is their programming there. So yeah, hopefully we can get out of this world and kill the people who are outside of this world, because clearly this world is an illusion here and fake, and so that falls upon the terrorists outside of this world, who we can see who they are through what they've created in this world, through the characters they have created here. Unfortunately, that I think is a dead giveaway to what we're going to deal with once we can get Earth out of the way and get back to doing real things in reality and interacting with real people. It takes a terrorist pedophile to create a place like Earth and maintain it, and force people to be in it. That's I think that's the bottom line here is these flying invisible reindeer fuckers. We haven't dealt with them in reality. We haven't removed them from reality yet. And so they're left behind to create illusions like Earth. And so the real battle ain't on Earth. I mean, you can play fuck the Empire and all that shit. Cute little game to play for a few days if you're bored. But the reality is, when you start playing that game, you're going to realize you ain't getting nowhere in it, because that's not what's going on. And you don't control that shit because someone created the Koopa. Fucking. And so the problem becomes, like the human bots say themselves, guns don't kill people. I kill people with guns. So there's someone behind that gun. There's someone who's created, at least the creator of the gun. But the core comes down to understanding that you're trapped on Earth, and whatever's created that trap, where you're forced to be on Earth, creates pedophiles and cults, and it's just, the beauty of it, the beauty of Epstein. Yeah, that's cool to like create bad guys to kill, but I don't think that's been like the whole thing. Like, you're born amongst these. I'm forced to have the opening credits to the game be me learning that the humans are over here doing their manipulative thing to prevent me from advancing in life and shit. So someone created these low IQ fuckers to do and say things they don't have the mental competency to do. There's school teachers. School teachers didn't pass school with good grades. They teach toddlers. Like, if you're actually a toddler, like, you don't know anything. So a toaster could teach you. But it creates them that way. It creates that story there. It creates how they hold you back and prevent you from advancing, so the deformed mutant looking whites can fucking conquer and colonize the world. Which I might add, that first time, that school is filled with a lot of more Middle Eastern people and shit than that. So blaming it all on the whites is clearly a thing it's forcing into the memories it allows me to have and experience, to factor it out. It's teaching me as much as I tried to get it to teach anyone else if they're capable of learning. I mean, since 2020, it's been showing everything to everyone, because I didn't say to me only. I said to everyone. So if there are other living beings out there, then they've been able to pick up what's going on. Fauci's people are in control, and they're drugging and enslaving the planet, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what happens is everyone continues to work with them, because I was already shown before I said to show all that there was a lot more people. And it was some non-whites who came up to me and were crying that I was behind COVID. One of the ones who, their enforcer, their savage barbarian enforcer, had came, and he had the computer tell its brain, its non-brain, updated software, that's the correct term, right, to what gym I was at. And I'm not sure, I know the one at the protest, at least two, but the one at the protest specifically identified himself as them, even though he looked different. They do this sometimes when they're in my life. They identify, just like before I had realized that all the Abrahamic religions are the same people. All the religions are the same, one small family. Before I realized that, before 9/11, they were identifying themselves. Klotzy didn't identify himself. He didn't. I didn't really talk to him. I only knew him for like 30 seconds. But after that, the other half of the people who got bombed in that war, they did identify themselves. And I noticed that's always a theme with them, is identifying, like they think it's like karma release, that they tell you they're part of a cult and you allow them to wreck your life. Like, literally, that's karma release when they're on the corner saying, give us all your money or Satan's going to kill you. Because word games. I mean, this is what books are for. Manipulating people's fucking minds and shit. That's the only thing apparently humans were given books for. Fuck. School. What a waste of life that is. You're literally born an adult if you're a living being. So books at school are there for what? If you're born, if you're already an adult, you're a billion-year-old being. Why do I need to go to school? Because there's something else in those books. Because there's something else in those books that ain't reality, that ain't knowledge. There's something else at that school that ain't reality, ain't knowledge. And the colonizer has successfully taught you that every word they say is knowledge. and great power, and knowledge. Great power isn't nuclear missiles. They're so scared of people obtaining our technology. No, great power is reading Clifford the Big Red Dog, reading American history. Oh, those great, those great Americans. Oh, it's so great. It's, oh, Clifford the Big Red Dog. Oh, look at that. He sat down. See, Clifford, sit. Sit, Clifford, sit. Good, Clifford. Knowledge. It's like getting hit in the head with a hammer, but not as fun. Yeah. I think, man, I can't believe I hopped onto that bandwagon. But, I mean, there comes a point in time where you realize, like, oh, yeah, you're forced to do these things. Colonizers forced. Why did the Native Americans die? Because colonizers forced them to die. Why did the Palestinians die? Because colonizers forced them to die. Right? They weren't like, hey, this is a good idea, let's die. You know? Why do people go and give colonizers all their money every week? Because colonizers forced them to. No one wakes up one day and be like, hey, yeah, go give colonizers all my money. All my money. Nope, doesn't work. No one wakes up and be like, you know what, I'm going to go give these rat white people all my money on Sunday. Never has happened once in the history of existence, or any existence in any other existence. But, so someone had to invent that at some point in time. Come give me all your money. The non-colonizers. They're the non-colonizers, because there's a truthful, and there's a peaceful, and there's a freedom, and there's a non-colonizers. And they're in the nations who are peaceful. There are the peaceful people. There's never any war. You know, they've never been at war. Like, there's a reason they wrote 1984, because they think they're releasing their karma, telling you what his family's doing. Orwell's telling you what his twin brother is doing. Just like the rest of the books they're writing. They're telling you what they're doing and saying it's someone else. How many times do I have to point this out? I mean, shit, how many times can I point this out? Let me change my tone. How many times? You see, you can't invent it. It's their DNA doing it. This is all they do, is go around, it's someone else. Oh, I was enslaved by the Egyptians. I'm going to take all this gold I got in Egypt as a slave and go build a new empire with it. Oh, I was enslaved there in my new empire. I'm going to take all this gold and corporations I got in Israel, and then I'm going to go to Rome, Italy with it, and create a place called Rome. Oh my God, I was enslaved in Rome too. I'm going to take all this gold and money I got in corporations and book printing presses I got in Rome, and I'm going to tell the whole world how I was enslaved, and I'm a good person, and I'm going to go, oh, the UK, and I'm going to invent in Russia, and I'm going to invent some new empires with all my gold and money, all them gold coins and gold bars and truckloads of gold I got from being a slave. I'm a slave in America. I'm going to take all them gold bars I got from making Hollywood films and running all the churches, and because we's enslaved people. We's enslaved people. So we're going to take all that money and go invade the Middle East and every other nation in the world with it. And that way we can build a new home where we won't be slaves. Oh yeah. It's there's only literally 7 things people talk about, and that's the one thing. That's one of the 7 things, right? It's always, and it's the same thing every time, no matter whichever people they're talking about, it's the same thing. So it's not even different. You just think there's 20 billion different history books, and there's really not. There's just one, and whichever one they're giving you, whichever one the people who own the printing, the slaves with all the gold who own all the media, can produce and print. They're the slaves. Oh yeah. Ain't that great? Slavery is so great. And, they should be thankful. They should write a new Bible saying that slavery, that they're thankful Egypt enslaved them, and everything else, because now they own everything on the planet, because they were slaves and they weren't allowed to spend all the gold they got paid being slaves, and they were forced to save it up, and because they were forced to save up all that gold they earned when they were slaves, they own everything on the fucking planet now. And because they were enslaved by Rome, they had the time to write a whole bunch of books telling you how they were slaved, and no one would know if they weren't slaves, and prevented from doing actual work, and couldn't sit around and write fairy tales all day. Oh yeah. Yeah, inside the mind of someone who has 65 IQ and uses every fucking digit there to fucking scam and manipulate motherfuckers. That is where that comes from. That to tell me every fucking word those books say, those people say. Almost every fucking thing. All their fucking Elvis is high class music. Talented. Worth a lot of money. It doesn't prevent him from saying it. Oh, fucking Hollywood is amazing. USA is amazing. The Bible's amazing. Christianity, Catholicism, Satanism, atheism, scientism, blue smurfism, 25,000 different Bibles. Giving me all your money is amazing. Give me your little children so I can have sex with them is amazing. God said, give me your children so I can have sex with them. Every word. You gotta work. No, you don't. You gotta be a good slave. No, you don't. You gotta contribute. No, you gotta not contribute so you can bring these fuckers down and bury them in the fucking ground. That's the real answer. The real answer is not. The real answer is whatever they say, do the opposite. You do some shit. If they got drugs, I know it's shitty drugs. I just do it because I want to die. I want to get the fuck away from them so I can go kill whoever in the real world is fucking keeping me here. But what they said, what is it they've said that is valuable? Technology's so amazing. AI is AI. It's not. It's just another calculator. It's just Google. It's literally just Google. They're just calling it that because it's flying reindeer are coming. Flying reindeer ain't coming, bro. A giant bunnies hopping around because they're God. Because people come back from the dead. No one comes back from the dead. No one lives forever. Everyone dies very shortly, too. You ain't living very long. Don't waste your time fucking talking to them and listening to them, because their goal is to siphon your fucking blood and money from you. You ain't fucking living forever. Ain't happening. No one ever has. Hulk Hogan gave him billions of dollars. You ain't fucking living forever. You ain't even got billions of dollars, and he still dies. All those preachers I see on TV, why do they look dead? Why do they have gray hair? Why is their skin all rotten and saggy? Why do they sound weak and look weak and frail? Because they're almost dead. They're about to die like their predecessors. They ain't living forever. They ain't living past 100. They're about dead. Once you hit 50, you know your body's telling you you are about dead. Now, who's coming in to tell you otherwise? Jeffrey Epstein. That's right, and Netanyahu. If you give them all your money and all your children, you might live forever. You might. You might live forever if you give them all your money, all your children. Marry them. Let them in your nation. Let them own everything. Let them take over everything. Let them kill your family and be a slave to them. Because you know your family's bad because your family didn't worship them. So, and that's what you get. You get in. You deserve to get invaded. Everything. When have they said something? When have these people we know? Okay, so someone told me to brush my teeth, and wash and take a shower. You know what the problem with that is? Is you're a slave. You are now a cattle feeding yourself and grooming yourself so other people can harvest your fucking organs. That's it. So tell me that's beneficial to wake up one day realizing that the only way to fucking solve the problems on earth is to die. And the only thing someone bad taught you that was good was to feed yourself and care for yourself, which you actually don't have to feed yourself. I didn't eat for a long time. So, again, see, we're narrowing it down. What have the colonizers done? What have the colonizers actually said that is true and honest and of value? Care for yourself. Take care of yourself so you can live a long time and be a slave to them. No. And they're going to keep yapping and yammering. I'm 50. The new story is when I'm 200, things will get better. I'll forget about them when I'm 100, and then by the time I'm 200, we'll be on our way. And they just keep telling you, look at TV. It's a whole bunch of old people on TV because now they've invented their peaceful health. Health. Take care of yourself. Go to the doctor. Oh, yeah. So you can be a slave. So you can be a slave longer. Oh, yeah, health. It's so important. Health is important for other people who need to use you. That's the only time health is important. That's the only time on earth health is going to be important, is when other people have a use for you. Some of the freest people on this planet are these motherfuckers walking around out here in wheelchairs. Me personally, I couldn't stand it. I would roll off a cliff. But they're definitely more free than you or anyone else. They aren't doing none of the bullshit you're doing. They might be going to church because someone has told them, give the $2 a day they get to them and they'll get healed. Never heard that story. It's never been. Every time that's on TV, it's one of them begging for cash and making up shit. I've seen some healing shit happen, but we're not really going to discuss that, are we? Fucking, because it's never been discussed because no one else has ever fucking seen it. So, and there is no such thing as immortality. No one's living forever. No one has, no one will. And that's the end of it. There is no Scooby-Doo flying on invisible reindeers in the sky. There sure the fuck isn't. It's nothing like that. That's not reality. That's what people who shouldn't be allowed to breed talk about. That's the fact. That's why they're so obsessed with breeding too, and the rights of who they rape, forcing those people to keep those kids. Because no one would want to have trash with their people. Their people have forced their way into my life. And I was real scared. I was like, God damn, this low IQ fucking trash is fucking pregnant? What the fuck? Thank God that wasn't real. Fucking, It's like I would have had to fucking tell my kid, like, dude, you're trash. Stop fucking talking to me, dude. Go hang out with that filth over there and shit. Get the fuck out of my face. Damn, dude. They sent that trash back into my life to like provoke my emotions into liking it. And they cloned the trash too. Several times since then. Fucking the clone's still across the street. The original shows up. Tell me how fake this world is if the motherfucking whores trash you date are fucking non-existent trash motherfuckers. Non-existent trash bots. This is the reality of reality. Is Earth ain't real. It's a fucking cancer on existence. And it needs dealt with. It needs ended. It needs a permanent fucking stop. And these motherfucking bots should have no fucking say-so in any living fucking being's matters. But they fucking own it. And so let's try to factor what the purpose of Earth could be. Where you go to a fake game world, where you have magical powers, and the bots there are asserting their dominance over the living. What do you think the purpose of such a thing would be? Where you go to a planet where bots force living beings to have sex with them, force living beings to hang out with them, force living beings to think that they're their family members. That sounds like some super advanced Terminator shit, doesn't it? Does that not? That's some real Terminator shit. See, humans can't think very well, so they think Terminator is a robot with a gun. Motherfucker, a computer has a brain. A computer can come up with some fucking ideas and thoughts. A gun. Is that the best a fucking robot can do? A gun. Literally a gun. I don't think so, bro. This to me unfolds. Everything I say is exactly what I've seen before. And then the Terminators will be like Terminators yapped a couple times, fucking quit talking about what they've done before. They're mafia Terminators. They're like, don't talk about it or we'll do it again. It's like, oh, wait, you never stopped doing it. You already did it a bunch. I didn't know that your brain was evolving. You were getting new talents. Oh my God. You got some new talents. Can you, you used to be able to jump on one leg and bark like a dog and pat your head. Can you do it with your tongue sticking out now? Oh my God, you've evolved. You're evolved. Oh, you're no longer a monkey. You're a stupid, dumb fucking monkey. Oh. Man, that's fucking... We're trying to get some valuetainment out of Earth. And I figure I should probably just go to the fucking... back to the comedy stop and fucking do some more stand-up with this shit. Obviously, people don't always take very well to my stand-up. I think I forget the punchline. I think the punchline is supposed to mean like there's a funny part to the joke and not just like punching someone in the face. I don't know. Why are we calling it a punchline anyways? I think that's probably why they call it a punchline, because generally a joke has to have something like that, right? Like the joke of Earth is Earth itself. Earth is the punchline. And it's not funny. It's just, that's what it offers, right? So hopefully this shit gets over with soon. I know I'm sick of it. I know other people just love their TV and shit and slavery. Especially the ones I don't think any of the ones I know were slaves because they're all those other people. One had a job supposedly, but the others didn't. That's weird how many people don't work. It reminds me of when I was in that one highly populated area in that nation that I never seen trucks, delivery trucks, but there's always stuff at the store. It was weird. I was like, how come there's no delivery trucks in this nation? Weird shit, dude. There's a lot of delivery trucks in this nation. That's like, like that would look weird if there wasn't and stores were just stocked all the time. I probably wouldn't have got it, if I actually, if it was always like that. I wouldn't have seen that. I would have just probably overlooked it. But seeing it and then seeing it the other way, wait a minute, this place has tons of trucks, and this place has no trucks. This place doesn't even have room in the streets for trucks to drive through. Anyway, so hopefully we get to the end of this shit soon, because this is just weird and fucked up, having to live with the memories of this place. I know the bots their propaganda is obviously things get better. Yeah, when you're 200 years old, life will be better. I've heard it before. Oh, I just skip straight to selling me the drugs, and this time you just mail me the drugs. That way I don't have to talk to you. I don't. I think that whole first, like wasting my time like a rapist does, is what a rapist does, and so you've already crossed your fucking boundaries and shown you're a rapist when you force someone to listen to your bullshit. And so just drop the drugs in the mail, and maybe I'll open the package. If you make it obvious it's a big package, I'll open it. If not, I'll just throw it away like I do all the other mail, and I won't get it. But I'll tell you what, mail those drugs out. We'll get it sorted out, won't we? Fucking, and just write a little letter with the drugs, saying, be positive. When you're 200 years old, things change and shit. You'll be senile and you'll done and forgot everything, and life will be so much better. You'll have your brain removed from your body, and it'll be in a cryostasis chamber, and things will be better. Yeah. I'd be really good at. Yeah. Don't be surprised. Like I said, they steal my shit from me. Don't be surprised if this is their next religion, and their next charity drive is, donate now for cryostasis chambers. Things get better when you're 200, and we'll find a body to put your brain in the year 2200. I mean, they're already going there. I'm not even inventing that, am I? This is the next logical step, and how can we manipulate fucking brains? How can we manipulate brains? Take the brain out the fucking body. How's this not? It's fucking logical steps. It's the same person inventing bullshit for thousands of years, and I'm telling you what their next fucking move is, and they're actually doing it, and I'm not even fucking thinking about that. I'm just telling you this would be the next logical fucking move, and a fucking from a scam artist fucking who has the inability to fucking say any other words or do anything different. And lo and behold, the joke I'm fucking making, which ain't a joke, it's a logical deduction of where we're going, where this be positive, live forever, fucking immortality, delusion, I need your money now, scam is going. That scam is going. It's already there. The scam's already there. There's already people who have their, oh, I got my eggs frozen, so in the future when people realize I was God, they can produce more of me and shit. Fucking blah, 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 blah. You know, when life gets better when I'm 60, I'll unfreeze my eggs and I'll have some children. Because what children really need is 70-year-old parents with dementia. They need Joe Biden for a father. That's what they fucking need. That's really what they need. You know, he's dead and, you know, mentally, and his body's there, it's just hanging on and shit, you know, for a few more years. Yeah, now, fucking, that's what children need, fucking. And then rich people can have their brains extracted an hour before they die, and they'll bring them back to life in 200 years. That's the next step in it, isn't it? Isn't it though? Because they're already doing it. How the fuck is it not? Same people as their fucking do religion and science. They're gonna live forever. You're gonna live forever. Wow. That sounds so fun. I can play Pong for eternity. Instead of 100 years, I can play Atari for eternity. Oh my God. I can talk to my fat bitch wife fucking for eternity. Instead of 100 years of listening to Miss Piggy fucking talk. I fucking listen to her. Actually, I'm not allowed to listen to her talk because she'll smack me if I interrupt her watching TV. But I can just watch her watch TV. She looks so cute. You know, for all of eternity, I just watch her watch TV. It's so cute. Fucking boy. I'm looking forward to the future. I don't know about you guys, but eternity and immortality. I don't have 50 cents in me because I don't have pockets, but I got some donations I can make. That's not a bracelet, but it can be used. You see how useful this is? You can use this for something. Take that donation. Fucking, I got some stickers here. You can take a couple of those stickers as donations and shit. And I'll give you this. It's a mostly used vape pen. It says 0%, but it's still got a few puffs left on it. You can take that. You know what? Actually, yeah, I might have to charge you $1,000 for this because, you know what? It has eternal life. So, the secret to eternal life is in here. Because you can see, it says 0, but I'm still getting juice out of it. It's immortal. There we go. So there's where our eternal life is. Fucking. I should. Oh yeah, that's right. Am I allowed to make a corporation or anything here? I don't think I can sell products. They'll just have to huck them themselves and shit. But yeah, this is so amazing. I'm so. Every day is just so beautiful. You know, I wake up. And I remember every second because I'm not a human. I actually have the ability to remember things. And then, so then the day's over at that point. And then we just do whatever we have to do. We have to be awake and move. Shit like that. It's fucking awesome though, dude. I'm so glad. I'm so grateful for being born to evil terrorist bots who have fucking taught me how to brush my teeth, which I don't give a shit about, and bathe, which isn't important if you're not a slave. But you see, the colonizers, isn't that weird how everything they're teaching you there is probably not accurate? If you're not going out there and sweating and building pyramids for the colonizers, you aren't going to be dirty and won't need to go buy a bunch of soap and shampoo and shit and buy water. If the colonized, I didn't have that issue in the past. Nothing was wrong with me. I don't even think we had running water in some places I've been. I probably sweated during some of those times too. But I had perfect skin, isn't that weird? I didn't need oil of Olay. Why? How did I have perfect skin and I didn't need oil of Olay or fucking water? How that? It must be. It's almost like the TV in these bots are telling me I need shit I don't need. Which is weird because that is the majority of every other word they say. Telling me I need shit I don't need. The main problem being to hear them speak and to listen to the psychobabble that runs out their fucking mouth. Hear about Santa Claus, because Santa Claus has a deeper meaning than invisible people, invisible reindeer. Fucking. But you can't just come out with that story to children, because children aren't dumb enough for that. So you got to entice them with sparkly glitter and gifts. You've got to buy the cult member and shit. You figure out how to get the child to look at the cat laser. You tell the cat, hey, do you want a cat laser? The cat doesn't care. Right? You tell the cat, hey, you want all this other stuff? The cat doesn't care. You know? Hopefully we get this shit over with soon. I mean, this is bullshit. Like, this is the only thing even funny anymore about this place, really. Is laughing at it. And that's not good. I shouldn't have to be forced around people who the only option is to laugh at them, to feel better. And you know what, if there are other living people, then I'm not sure they're obsession with having me laugh at them. And it's not funny. More like a fucking Charles Manson type laugh. More like, I mean, like, shit, bro, you got to be all excited about flying reindeer or else you'll get killed and you'll get dumped in hot coals and be tortured forever and shit. See, there's nothing funny about that until the person talking about it actually falls in a furnace at a fucking, a metal foundry and gets melted down. Nothing funny about hot coals until that happens, because that happened. It wouldn't be funny if that didn't, if the unfunny part didn't fucking happen first, right? Fucking amazing fucking shit here. People just been going on about it too. I don't know if it's because that one race is always forcing their way in my life and preventing me from being around people who don't look like them, or if it's just everyone. Because seriously, how would I know? How would I fucking know if the other thing seems to be a real big happening and shit? Well, Amazing. This is amazing. Fucking. What a waste. You guys be sure to go be a slave today and go buy some useless junk. Fucking, and feed yourself so you can go be a slave again tomorrow. Don't forget to do that. And bathe, because they won't want you to be a slave if you don't smell like oil of Olay. Oil of Olay can't have its employees not using oil of Olay. Fucking amazing. Amazing. Man, I'm still tied down to that terrace. I think that really tells us everything about what the computer controlling the humans are actually up to, is how it can manipulate the system to tie me into the world's biggest terrorist and shit. Even though I've broken free of the world's biggest terrorist system of systems, it's still it's preying, it's trying to prey upon those emotional things. It's like it said it loves you. It loves you, and you're an evil, hateful person because you don't love everyone who comes into your life and shit. You want to make a decision for yourself and do something. But guess what? Our Lord and Savior Benjamin Netanyahu has it planned out for you. Yes, he does. Amazing. I'm gonna start singing those Swing Low Sweet Chariot songs and shit. That's a good way. That's a good thing to look at it. See, that's what happens. Colonizers come, they force you to sing songs to worship them. And then 300 years later, people think you're supposed to do that. And you weren't forced to. Man. Same shit over and over. At least that shitty fucking heavy metal music phase was over, where people were all like whiny bitches and shit. I think it's over. It sounds like it's over and shit. Fucking, we got AI to make better music now, so we don't have to worry about my loyalty to this band or that band. Like, not that I am. I'm wearing a shirt by a band I don't even listen to. But, it's good I'm not gonna fucking go be a slave to fucking buy a bunch of junk and shit. So I can take care of myself, so fucking colonizers can fucking colonize and shit. Man. There's some crazy shit going on with this parasite computer operating these bots around us and shit, man. Fucking crazy shit. Fucking computers are trash. Technology is trash. The world will be a better place when we get back to, one small hut, not even a village, every few hundred miles. And then people can be themselves, and you'll know who the invaders are when the invaders come. You will not have to trust someone's lies about what they are and who they are. You won't, if someone in your family isn't a real person, others either aren't as well, and you'll know that. Or they will not even allow this invader into your colony. Fucking really, Earth really does make you miss things like that, which probably didn't exist in the first place. But probably from some AI generated fucking media and shit that dinosaurs and history existed. I'd say it's this is fucking, I've been here 40 years, 40 plus years, so it's at least 40 years overdrawn and shit. Fucking, it's like talking to an old, Earth is like talking to fucking Joe Biden and shit for 40 fucking years. He's just like, which way is Zigzaboo Triangle? Where's the triangle store at? What's a store? And then, like, literally, he says the same shit 10 seconds later, and 20 seconds later, and 30 seconds later. That's, like, what it feels like and shit. And he's a rapist, too. Don't forget, Joe Biden actually is a rapist, ain't he? He be touching little boys and shit. He has little boys touch him. Quite the man. He's not a predator. His little children are preying upon him. Fucking, well, hopefully we can get this shit over with. Like a long time ago. I mean, obviously there's no hope because we said it should be over by the end of 2020. And I think that year was one of those ancient fucking Egyptian ruling the earth type years. That was a long time ago. So, what I'm saying? Like, I just don't have enough drugs. The Bible I got's real small, and to be honest, I don't want to hurt my lungs by smoking that shit. And I doubt it works. I think those people are just fucking psychotic fucking nutcases from birth. They can claim it comes from smoking books and shit all they want. They're always blaming drugs for how they act, but I can never get drugs to make me act how they act. Fucking. So I don't think so, bro. I think that's part of the control, how they got to have the churches control all the drugs so they can own all the money from it. They can corner the world's drug market with their hospitals and tell you it's good people. It's the good drug dealers. They're healing you so you can go back to the plantation and do more work. They're healers. Yeah, they're good drug dealers and good healers. They're not like those brown people in Venezuela. They're the bad drug dealers because they're brown. Yeah. Yeah. We just can't say that anymore because some evil people said we can't say stuff like that. Hopefully we get this shit over with. This is getting old. Like, this has been 40 fucking years of wondering what the fuck these idiots are up to and when the fuck it's going to end. The fuck. It hasn't quite been 40 because we figured it out after so many years what they're up to. So it just, we got limited options left and shit here. And obviously we only have one option now. So like, when the fuck is it going to end and shit? And it doesn't. The good thing is that terrorist they're tying me down to is going to be dead soon because no one has eternal life. No one will live forever on this planet. And if they do, we should probably kill the people and invent that shit because that's going to be Elon Musk. And we already know why these people are obsessed with keeping us alive. It's because they're fucking selfish. They need slaves. They need you. You don't need them. If you're trying to kill yourself, you don't need them. You need them away from you. Most people are trying to kill themselves to get away from the people who want them to stay alive. Because they're the wrong type of people. that whole, and then again, with the telling people it's always everyone else to them. Oh, it was the Romans invading. Oh, it wasn't us. Oh, you're selfish, not me. I need you alive to wash my toilets. You're selfish. Why would you want to kill yourself? Come over here so I can beat you. Every word these fucking parasite fucking computer bots fucking say, dude. It's all the same. The only thing they aren't saying that ain't like that is when they're like high, which is still like a rapist rape in your life when you realize, like, you know, that's how the rapist gets their. I'm sure they said hi when I was born and shit. That's how the rapist usually gets in your life if they don't just grab you. Fucking. So this will be amazing. This is gonna be great, ain't it? In the mind of a fucking bimbo who shouldn't be allowed to speak in public.